evening, the UK will remain in lockdown for at least 3 more weeks. The Foreign Secretary, Dominic Raab, said Britain is at a delicate and dangerous stage in this pandemic, and relaxing restrictions too soon could risk a second wave of coronavirus and even more deaths. He said the lockdown, which is now extended until at least the 7th of May, would only be lifted once the daily death toll comes down and experts can be sure the UK is beyond the peak. The latest official figures for the UK show there were 861 deaths reported in the last 24-hour period. It means that the total official number of deaths in the UK linked to coronavirus is 13,729. That number doesn't include deaths in care homes or in the community in England and Northern Ireland. Our political editor, Laura Koonsberg, reports.
The start of another day. We're looking out the window is the only way to see the world outside. More time for fun for Rocco and Bonnie. But for their parents in Wolverhampton, another 24 hours of working, playing, caring and cooking, all within the same 4 walls.
Chocolate everywhere.
Well, we've already done more than 3 weeks, and I guess in some ways that's been like an extended holiday. We've had the weather, we've just played a lot in the garden, but my fears about more time are more for the children, so I guess there's a danger that you could become quite worried about them missing out on things.
As the Foreign Secretary in the Prime Minister's place confirmed today, that time at home will be longer.
The government has decided that the current measures must remain in place for at least the next 3 weeks. We've just come too far, we've lost too many loved ones, we've already sacrificed far too much to ease up now. But we're now at both a delicate and a dangerous stage in this pandemic. If we rush to relax the measures that we have in place, we would risk wasting all the sacrifices and all the progress that has been made. And that would risk a quick return to another lockdown with all the threat to life that a second peak of the virus would bring and all the economic damage that a second lockdown would carry.
You've been very clear about why, in your view, in Sage's view, now is not the time. As you said yourself, in other countries, people have been told when and what to expect. From what you know now, is it more likely that we're looking at another 3 weeks or maybe another 3 months?
We can't give a definitive time frame. That would be to prejudge the evidence. That wouldn't be a responsible thing to do. But our message to the British public is there is light at the end of the tunnel. We are making progress. If I start giving you artificial and arbitrary time frames, it will be the irresponsible thing to do, and I can't do that.
Matron Dolores, who spent 40 years in nursing and wanted to pass this message to the public.
Stay home and not to put our resources under more stress than they are, that we don't want this spreading. It's quite simple.
For staff, it's deeply personal. 3 colleagues have died since the crisis began. The latest was 60-year-old nurse Melogene Ballesteros from the Philippines, a mother of 2 and one of 18,000 Filipinos working for the NHS. St. Mary's is 175 years old. The sacrifice is part of history here. Staff fell in both world wars.
So if you come into this bit, then we need to close the door.
But in the spring of 2020, it's in critical care units like this that staff willingly face a potentially lethal virus. We were invited to see the work of the CPAP unit, where air is applied through a mask to help breathing. It can help some patients, not all. In the process, infected droplets are exhaled.
We use it for asking things to be passed through, so medications or equipment.
Staff communicate with the outside by video link. The ward is specially ventilated to create what's called negative pressure that stops any contamination escaping. A Hong Kong-born doctor leads the team.
What do you feel for the patients? They're very isolated, they don't have their loved ones with them, they can't even hear us properly. I think it's a really scary time for them. And I think any small measures that you can do to make them feel more at ease, it makes a big difference. And I think doctors, we mainly sort of see the patients and then we pop in and out to see other patients, but the nurses will stay here for a long, long time. And that's what they need to recognise their hard work for.
Okay. Nick, recovering, was deeply grateful to his carers, and having struggled for his life, there was a moment of clarity he wanted to share.
No, it's because of these guys I am sitting up, because I'll be honest, I never took it serious in the beginning. But after this, it's kind of told me slow down. Family, do you know what I mean? Being with your family is important. I'll do long city hours, but being with your family is really important, and that's what it's taught me.
I've just come out of the unit, and that word hero that's being used a lot of late has been going around in my head. And if you said it to anybody here, they would say, no, I'm just doing my job. This is what I've been trained to do. But having watched the doctors, the nurses, the ambulance people, the cleaners, the cooks, the porters, all of the people who keep this struggle against the virus going, people from the UK, people from everywhere, brave hardly begins to describe them. As Britain claps for its carers, emergency team leader Dr. Ali Sanders knows she's engaged in the greatest struggle of her medical life.
You know, it's just nice to like you being appreciated. We've done all this hard work. And I love you.
Her 9-year-old son Jack is learning the meaning of duty and of courage. Fergal Keane, BBC News.